Welcome to the CineQuest video podcast. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about what is considered the savior of the Marvel universe.
Oh yes,
Marvel
this is going to be
Jesus.
the new Marvel New Testament.
Yes, we're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Let's fucking go.
So, guys, we saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Bryce and I saw it the other day, late showing. It was pretty packed still. It's been a week since it came out.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised.
I anticipated like that many people.
Wait,
there.
how long has it been out? Already a week?
It's been
Like a week.
It's been a little over a week now.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting most of the crowds to be around the end of the week. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, late
Thursday,
showing on a Friday, you're bound to get like.
was
lots
that
of
when we
people.
saw it? It was a Friday, right?
It was a
okay,
Friday.
well,
Yeah,
never mind. That makes
shit,
sense.
must have been a shitload of people. Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty packed. Yeah.
I went Saturday early. I thought I was going to go in the morning, but we went like right on the crack of lunch. It was like 12:20.
Mm.
Was
there
that
was
was
maybe
it packed
like
still or what?
Kind of like mid crowd. I'd say there was maybe like 30 or so people in there. There was a fair amount of empty seats, so I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is good. This is tolerable. I have to share my oxygen.
Well, I do want to take a moment to introduce everybody, just in case no one is familiar. I am your host Ray, and then we also have King Fourth Wall Lover. Always
grab my crown. Sorry.
Yeah, always forgetting your crown too. I don't understand that. And then we have Chimichongatron.
On my heart.
These new podcast guests joining me today.
Yeah.
Deadpool
reference, I guess. Since we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let you guys do that kind of shit. I don't do that. So.
You just have to let yourself.
We're too lowbrow rolling, apparently.
No, I'll let you all be the more creative types. On this one, so.
Now you're sounding all buttress smooth. Huh? Calling bullshit. I've heard these lies before.
Just real quick, after a week of this movie being out, as of right now, I read an article that it is just a hit, and I'm pretty sure at this point it's already passed, and probably will be even more. I would say probably 1 billion by the time this episode comes out. It's at $824 million.
Holy shit! Yeah,
already.
I just saw that number. That's fucking ridiculous.
So, I mean, it's not completely far off to say that this movie may or may not have saved Marvel or Disney's ass when it comes to like them losing money over the past couple of films. Because I mean, I haven't seen this much excitement for a Marvel film since Spider-Man.
It is currently the second highest grossing.
Do you think that this movie is going to make up for all the loss they made on the last?
No, no.
I think how much deficit are they in?
It's made more. It's made more than at first. I don't know how many or which films combined.
It'll pay the interest on their loans.
I mean, I think if they hit a billion, they might be close to breaking even when it comes to just like the cost of the other films. But then like it'll have to keep Marvel on going to make more of a profit for them, because I'm pretty sure they're in the red when it comes to all these other films. Like with how much
I was going to ask, like I still haven't watched the Marvels. I don't know if you guys did.
I haven't. No.
I'm pretty sure that one lost them a lot of money. And I mean, Madam Web was Sony, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was Sony.
So that just finished losing them a shitload. It's kind of funny how all of that kind of folded in, and now, I mean, you guys remember? Wait, can we sort of talk about like the credit scenes, or do you want to?
Let's wait on that. Let's just get through a quick synopsis of the movie, and as very brief as possible. Again, I'm just going to go through IMDb.
Cool.
So this movie was directed by Sean Levy, and I did to his credits when it comes to directing. I believe he directed Free Guy, which also starred Ryan Reynolds. He also did other films, like directed like TV shows, like a couple episodes of Stranger Things. Of course, it does star Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine. And as far as the synopsis goes, it says Deadpool is offered a place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe by the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. but instead recruits a variant of Wolverine to save his universe from extinction because Wolverine, the Logan character from the actual movie, is the anchor being, and that is apparently like destroying his timeline.
Yeah.
But it's all a ruse, though. It's all a ruse.
Something like that.
But yes, so again, that's a very base level synopsis of this movie. We basically get a lot of exposition in the very beginning. He wraps it up like in a very quick. I don't know how quick it was, but like what was it? What do they call it? Like it's not.
Oh, when they catch everyone up in the beginning, it's the.
I always lose my wording whenever it's. What is it called? Whenever they like go back.
The recap, yeah.
The flashback. There you go.
I thought it was a recap.
I know. Well, it's kind of like a recap, but like it's a flashback is also catching everyone up as to what has happened since the last Deadpool movie. This is also considered not really considered a sequel to Deadpool 2.
It's not.
No, it's not really Deadpool 3 according to what I've read, because it's a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, which technically is kind of like its own little spin-off. You know,
so
I guess hence why we don't get like I would imagine like was it Cable should have come back at some point,
right?
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, but we did have Peter.
We got Peter, yeah, but I mean he's kind of like a character that's just kind of in the background, not necessarily. He's just for comedic relief, you know.
He is. He
doesn't really do anything.
No, he doesn't. That's kind of the point. It's
not really like any sort of spoilers, but the scene where he picks up his shirt and you see like the fucking nipple piercings,
the chain
going down to his fucking dick.
He's trying to get people to yank on it, and they're like, "What happens?" And he's like, "Whoa!" Like, what do you mean? What do you fucking think?
And as we know, up until this point, like even prior to seeing this, there was a lot of secrecy going on with this film. And a lot of drama going on in the background, which we won't get into when it comes to the production and all that kind of stuff. But there were a lot of cameos, and I think anyone who's up until this point even just knows that there's cameos galore in this movie.
Which I assume we're not going through.
We are going to go through those at the very towards the end of this review. Again, we're going to go through our basic pros and cons, very vague, and then we'll get into spoilers at towards the end, the second half of this review podcast episode. Roland, what did you think of Deadpool and Wolverine?
It's pretty great. Makes me want to go watch the other Deadpool movies mostly, I think. And probably like any other rated R Marvel movies I can find, which that's pretty much it.
How many are there? I mean,
there's Blade, I think.
But that's not considered
Blade 2 and Blade 3
aren't those like Fox or Sony movies?
Fox? Right. Yeah.
I mean they're technically.
What about Punisher? Was Punisher?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like I think that was also. Yeah, I think it was.
It was R-rated.
I'm not sure about this. The other wasn't there like 2 more after that?
I mean, the TV show.
One more, and then
the TV show itself probably could be considered R-rated. I mean, it's pretty violent.
Yeah, I think I was like 1 or 2 episodes away from the end, or I forgot if I watched all of it or not. I was like, this is cool. I liked him in when he had his cameo in Daredevil, the Daredevil TV series, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. The fight scene between Frank Castle and Wilson Fisk in the prison was pretty great. I don't know if you guys remember that one or if you saw that noise.
I haven't seen the series. I gotta check it out. I hear good things about it.
Yeah.
The series is good,
It's probably the best of the Netflix Marvel series, and I liked them all, even though I also understood they're not good. Defenders, Iron Fist, Luke Cage.
Well, I will disagree. I think Daredevil, Punisher, even the Defenders, even Jessica Jones is pretty good. But Iron Fist is not really.
I saw a little bit of the Jessica Jones one, not much, but
it's
is that Netflix?
Yes.
I don't know if they're still on Netflix anymore.
I don't think so. I think
Disney.
I think they're on Disney now. To stream.
Okay.
I like Jessica Jones for a little bit, but it just gets tiring, I guess, as far as her character. I feel like it maybe should have been a lot shorter. I don't know. I lost sort of interest around the second, or how many seasons are in there?
I
Like
think there's only 2.
only 2? Or
Yeah.
I
I
think I
think most of
started
them only
watching part of the
lasted 2
second one.
seasons.
Yeah. I
'Cause they
think
all
Iron
got
Fist had
canceled.
1. I want to say it had 1.
I believe, I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Whenever Disney purchased Marvel
2.
or like partnered up with
Yeah.
Marvel, that's when they
Yeah.
all got canceled.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other I think there was another argument made that like Netflix has a habit of canceling shows before they get to a 3rd season.
Yeah,
Because then
and
they
then
don't have to
probably
pay
like
the
one of
residuals.
the better
Yeah.
series that they had on Netflix, to be honest with you.
Daredevil was, yeah.
Daredevil was great.
Defenders I liked just because it just sort of tied them all together.
Yeah.
What other one is there? I think that was most of them. But Daredevil was probably the best one. Yeah. Funnily enough, I don't know. Damn. Okay. So where do we leave off on the movie then?
Well, I was just asking if you like what you thought of it, vaguely speaking. You
So
said
it
you
had a
liked
really
it.
great intro. It had
Yeah.
a really great intro. Actually, that shit was hilarious. Probably the best one because in like the previous Deadpool movies, they always have that slow mo, like effects. Few minutes of the movie, and so they did the same thing here in this one. It's pretty great. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. There's a shitload of comic book references. I only tried to like see as many as I could, and I probably forgot half of them by now. But they were pretty funny. A lot of like the little twists, the Shyamalan twists were appreciated, and some of them I could see coming a mile away because I was like, "There's no fucking way." Okay, this is here's a little more reasonable. Had a cool villain, which I was kind of expecting. I don't know shit about the actress or whomever is playing that Cassandra Nova character, but she did a pretty cool job. I thought she looked pretty menacing, but also like almost like slightly sickly and like still strange. Her whatever the hell she was wearing, she like jumped from between looking like a mad scientist or like an evil archaeologist to like a I don't know, a stripper wearing hospital clothes or something. I'm not really sure. It's
I got
kind of
more like detective noir with the trench coat, like shit.
yeah, a little detective noir stripper style. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
because
where
like
you're getting the stripper thing from, dude.
when she takes
Oh,
off the
when
coat at the end and she's wearing that like weird, she has that weird top that's like
yeah,
wrapped
but I
around part of her.
he's thinking
That's all.
he's thinking of Silent Hill nurses with that, like that's
Oh yeah, there we go. The bubblehead nurse. Yeah, the bubble nurses. Yeah, that's what they're.
All right, well, Bryce, what did you think about Deadpool and Wolverine?
I liked it. It was hilarious, and it was an action packed. Like you don't have to think too hard on it. Like I do appreciate the fan service. A lot of
So much
comic book
fan
references.
service.
Yeah. I haven't read comics in a long time, honestly, man. So I don't know the Cassandra Nova character. Was she in the comics, Roland?
Yeah, not too long ago. I forget how old the character is, but so she's it's a fucking weird, ridiculous story. I can tell you right now. She is some weird name called a mumu dry or some such, was supposed to be like a parasitic species. It doesn't necessarily say that, oh, these are humans or demons or some shit. But she is Professor Charles Xavier's um
Twin?
parasitic twin in the that
Oh, okay.
he apparently kills her in their womb.
Ah,
She tries to like choke him out or something, like choke him with the umbilical cord, and he instead like kills her
oh, okay.
somehow. Apparently this is a thing. And she survives. Like originally thought that like I think that she was dead. I think she survives on him as like some kind of parasitic growth. And then like I think she's eventually ejected, and she or she finds a body of her own somehow. She just looks like a female version of Professor X,
Yeah,
just like really old and like craggy looking and gross looking.
Oh, okay.
And she's crazy strong. She's like Jean Grey's character, so she can move stuff with her mind and read people's brains, see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know too much about that
It's
antagonist,
a
but
pretty fucking ridiculous character. That's about as much as I know.
well, I enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked. I thought she did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I loved all the cameos. Hugh Jackman. I mean, he acted the shit out of that. He did not phone this in, man. Hugh Jackman, like he came to play.
Yeah, he was acting
Wolverine.
this
I was just
like
like, oh, whoa. I mean,
he was
shit.
acting this like a soft sequel to Logan, sort
Yeah,
of.
a little. Yeah. So
I think
overall,
about
I
it.
liked it a lot.
You would think Hugh Jackman was just trying to prove himself as an actor. Like this is his
Yeah,
first role,
man.
man, because he was coming in like with heavy drama and emotion
Hmm.
for this
Yeah,
lighthearted, violent film. You know,
for what he did.
Could have he could have used more singing parts though. You should have really showed off his musical chops. That would been funny.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be plenty of that in the extras or the behind the scenes.
Oh
They
yeah.
gotta add that stuff in there. You're right. That's a good point.
yeah, I would say I liked the movie as well. I had, I guess, issues with certain parts we'll get into in just a moment. But I think overall it's a pretty good movie. It's fun. I was funny. It was funny that there were a bunch of like little kids in our theater
Oh my god.
Yeah.
watching this
So
fucking movie,
annoying. That was
and
so
it was
weird,
annoying
man.
because there was like even a toddler right behind us. And you
Yeah,
could
I was
hear him
like,
making
oh, you
noises and
kids are
shit,
gonna
like-
learn a whole new fucking language. Get ready.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was fun, and again, like you said, Roland, kind of makes me want to watch the other Deadpool movies and just kind of catch up because I mean, since the last Deadpool, I had forgotten little things here and there, just about like what had happened in the prior episodes or the prior
Sure.
films. But yeah, good overall. I highly recommend going to see it if you're a fan of like just a good time in the theater. Although
Really
there wasn't
like
as much
sarcastic
much as
rating.
reactions as I was expecting when it came to the
Oh.
cameos and stuff like that. I was expecting a bigger reaction from certain people, unless
Hmm.
like it was. I will say I went into it not unlike Long Legs. I watched a bunch of trailers and I saw a bunch of spoilers for this movie, so I knew it was coming.
You son of a bitch.
It's a Deadpool movie. What the fuck? I mean, I knew like there was gonna be some big things, big names coming out. I didn't
Yeah.
know initially, but I mean, what do I need to know? I knew about the whole Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield thing before going to see Spider-Man. Still had the
Didn't
same
affect
effect, you know.
you.
It's still pretty
Yeah,
good though.
just you're still like, yay!
Yeah, I stood up, I
woo!"
clapped, you know, I
Rip
cried.
your shirt off, swinging around people. You start flossing.
Yeah, I was like fucking
Yeah.
Mary Jane. You know? But
That boy needs church. Yeah.
now again, just quick pros of this movie. Again, very vague until we get into actual spoilers by naming names and stuff like that.
Yeah. Names.
Bryce, what would you say are the pros for you of this movie? Like again, very vague. I know we said we liked it and stuff, but like if there's any pinpoints that you don't have to like give too much detail about.
Just the writing, the comedy's pretty good.
Mhm. It's more of the same from like the previous Deadpool movies.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you know what you know what you're getting with
it's
that.
pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, the fight scenes between Wolverine and Deadpool are pretty good, especially if you read any of like the comics. I think I had like I think I still do have like one of the original the first appearances of Deadpool where he fights Wolverine. I
Oh
was
yeah.
kind of hope. Well, never mind, I won't get into that because that might be spoilers. But yeah, the comedy, the fighting was good. Like the action was good. Of course, you know it's what you would expect or hope for. But
Yep. They beat
again,
the
just the
shit out of each
cameos,
other.
the fan service, like those were like big pros for me.
What about you, Roland?
I mean, it's the same. I did really enjoy the cameos and the most. And I read about a few after the fact, which aren't really spoilers necessarily. It's just that, Ryan Reynolds had some of his family playing like certain characters under,
Oh wow, I didn't know
Mhm.
that.
different. Yeah. His two daughters actually.
They played the
Oh.
Deadpools, right? The little ones.
Yeah. And I think
okay.
Lady Pool
Was his wife, yeah,
was
Blake
his
Lively.
wife, right?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Was he
which
married
I was
to?
like,
Blake Lively.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, if
Brad's
that's
like,
her in that suit,
oh.
damn.
Oh,
Like, good for you. And I know, yeah, it was just really funny. Like, it did remind me a lot of the Deadpool Wolverine comic books, or any Deadpool like crossover comics, because that's pretty much the way he's with everyone. Everyone is like that. It's actually, I think, his biggest buddies are, hate frenemies or whatever. It's Wolverine. I think he's sort of friendlier with Spider-Man, but there's still like, it's still like Deadpool is the one person that just pisses everyone off.
yeah.
And Cable, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. I forget, like, those he's had crossovers with them, crossover comic books with them. I don't remember off the top of my head who else, but like, yeah, this seems like more of that, which is just like some ridiculous situation that they somehow get themselves into, and with Deadpool, and like just a lot of hilarious fucking lines, shitload of ridiculous action. So yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see more of these. I can't imagine anytime soon how any of this crap would work.
Yeah.
Hail Marvel Jesus.
Real quick, I'll go over my pros and then I'll kind of run it back around the cons of this film. Again, some of the cameos were great. Not all of
Cons?
them. Some of them were good. Of
Not
course,
all
the,
of them.
the fight scenes. There was
Hey,
some
you
that were
didn't
kind of.
say that. You didn't tell us. You didn't ask us anything about cons. Why do you
No,
get to
we're
be
going back
like
around.
No, yeah,
Relax. We're going back around.
I was like, what?
I
Let him finish his
said we're going
thought.
back around. Calm down.
He's
Alright.
gonna lose his shit. No.
No, I have everything written down. It's fine. Again, the fight scenes, like y'all said, really good, violent, funny also. So that was good. Especially the intro. The opening credits were hilarious. I thought the soundtrack was fun. They had some good songs in there.
Yeah, actually,
Um,
that's right. It's a good point. Fuck, I completely forgot about that.
there was a moment that I kind of
Should've.
liked whenever they were fighting all the Deadpools, and they jump out of the bus and they had that kind of like freeze frame of them.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
looked pretty
and then
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was also hilarious the way it ended.
Also the end
Yeah.
credit scene that was fun.
That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I'll go over my cons. I thought the story was kind of weak. I don't expect too much from a
Yeah.
Deadpool movie, but just a little bit more effort might have helped. Could there have been too many cameos? I'm still kind of like up in the air about that. Like unnecessary, were they all justified? We'll talk about that in just a minute. I thought some of the CGI was a little cartoonish. Wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. And then I know this is going to sound shocking, but was it too much cursing?
Well,
I thought it was a little
Ryan Reynolds,
overdone.
It could
is
be
like
seen that way, but I still appreciate it for the most part.
Yeah, I don't mind the
Well,
cursing itself. I just think that maybe they were just doing it for every beat. Thought it was like
Was
it kind of kills the joke after a while for me.
Like it becomes almost like syndicated shows. Like we're watching an episode of Family Guy, where they're just like
probably.
punchline bit or whatever.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
scene.
So from that, those are my cons, my pros and cons. Roland, we'll go back around for the cons for you if you have any.
I mean, that would be my only problem with anything. It's pretty much the same as you. I liked this movie, but the story was very weak, and that's another thing that also I guess would be the con of it is in comic book form, because it's exactly what this follows. It's going to be something silly and ridiculous, and be like, all right, this is just what happened on his birthday, and then the next day, everybody went back to work, kind of shit. Which is exactly sort of what without putting into spoilers, what this kind of was. He was, from anyone had picked up in the trailers, I think, celebrating his birthday, and then that's when just like all this kind of shit starts happening. And so, when that's all over, he's gonna go back and finish his birthday or whatever kind of thing. That's kind of how that anyone would expect that shit to look. And so I can see like how some of the CG was a little too rubbery in certain areas, but like I kind of don't mind that for the most part. I think there was a lot of practical effects here as well that I kind of appreciated. I'm thinking about like some of like the gory kills and um the CGI kills actually were cool
Well,
too. Now that I think about
just real quick,
those.
there were a few moments during the battle scenes whenever
Uh-huh.
you could tell it's CGI.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
mind it. I don't
Yeah.
mind it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that
Yeah. It was a
during the
little too
movements they show them
contrasting.
like
Yeah.
how this podcast is going, like a little laggy, you know? It
Yeah,
goes,
yeah. So
you
like
know.
certain scenes where they were like fighting in broad daylight, actually even worse in broad daylight, in a
Yeah.
fucking desert. So it's like overexposed light everywhere. And like seeing special effects against that kind of backdrop, excuse me, yeah, it is a little tough to pull off, I'd say. Thinking about some of those, it was like, some of the like the guns that they were using were just like, okay, that's a little too, I don't know, styrofoamy or whatever. But like, I like the little like glowy effects that are, on the side. I don't know, some of those might have been practical, but others were, yeah, the CG was just like,
Okay, Bryce, what about you on the cons? Have you got any?
that's
Uh,
pretty much it
yeah,
there.
I hate to piggyback on everybody else's thing, but I would say yeah, the CGI.
Some of the
I don't know.
effects,
Yeah, I don't know the scene where Hugh Jackman puts his well, I don't know if it's a spoiler
Yeah,
because
well,
well, I
it's in
mean
the
it's what
trailer.
he puts his mask on. I don't know
Yeah.
if that was CGI, but it just looked a little strange when he first puts it on. It's like
yeah,
that was a little strange. I don't know. Even the scene that even though it's cool when he jumps out the back of the bus, like I do like kind of harkens back to the old Wolverine. The way he's like posed reminds me like the old Wolverine comics. But that
yeah.
was like that even that was like a little rubbery. And you know what, Roland? I get what you're saying. Like I guess it kind of does fit within this movie. It just like it was a little bit I feel like they could have made it like a little bit more effort with the CGI, maybe. I don't know, but I guess in a way it does work. It's almost like Robert, like fucking Roger Rabbity, like in a way, which I guess kind of
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
You know, it's
dude.
supposed to be cartoony.
Actually, that's a great comparison.
Um, some of the like, as much as I did like the action, the fight scenes, I felt like it got a little repetitive. Like there'd always be a scene where they would come out in slow mo, and because the thing is, like when you're dealing with characters that can't really die, it's like what's to be lost. You know what I mean? It's the same thing
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the whole thing with the multiverse. So you're talking about the writing, Ray. Well, it's like
Well,
again, if it's like a multiverse, what's to be gained or lost? It's like you can always go back in
so
time. I
I
know there
mean,
was
as
supposed to
in
be
as
timelines dying,
I,
but
I can see how that would be the case if you were like how you were talking about them fighting all the time. It's like, what are you guys doing? You can't kill each other. It's like, well,
yeah.
this is more like the show between the exposition or whatever. It's like,
No,
they go to
I
a scene and something happens.
uh
It's because like the way to sort of answer, or at least I was going to try to answer your sort of statement about what do like people that are essentially immortal have to lose. And it's like they sort of explain it. They lose everyone that's around them or whatever that they care
mm,
about. And so it's not really them that they give a shit about, right? Is in
yeah.
this whole thing, like that Wolverine is supposed to have like fucked up this
Hmm.
huge issue, and now everybody hates him, and so like he's gonna like live forever through like misery. And like
Yeah.
Deadpool is trying to do the I guess sort of opposite of that in his sense. He's like
Yeah.
he's absolutely like morally flexible, I think was the phrase he used, maybe something like that, as possible.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, I was gonna say like ambivalent, maybe, or ambivalent, morally ambivalent. He doesn't give a shit about
Yeah.
like only his friends, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. And
No,
sort of
I enjoyed the
that's
fighting between Wolverine and Deadpool. Like I get that. And it's just like but I think it was more what I'm trying to say is the setup for the fights got a little
mm,
like okay, it was like I don't know how to explain it. It was just like I don't know, man. It was just hard to
mm.
explain. It was like I feel like the setup for each fight scene, like when they were fighting up like a huge horde of people, it'd always be like the same kind of setup. And
It
I don't know, man.
feels to me that okay. So I was just thinking about this, and like how they take shots and like parody Mad Max. I think that might have had a
Yeah.
bit to do with it.
Well, that was funny. The Mad Max
Like
thing
it
Yeah.
was.
was, but like also again when you
Uh,
get to like the lair and like the way that they're
yeah.
like in that wasteland and
Mm.
that whole area pretty
Um,
much.
that fight scene I did enjoy. Well, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it, but like that Mad Max fight, the first part of it when they're on, yeah, that was pretty funny.
I'd
But
say there were like like 3 or 4 different action scenes in that area,
yeah,
more or less. There's a lot, and it jumps through a shitload of people.
yeah,
I yeah, but like that's why I thought about when I saw some of those areas. Like it was just like, oh man, this is just all like what's his face, Mad Max and shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I mean, the pros completely outweigh the cons, anyways. But I mean,
Yeah, for sure,
you know,
for
it's a very
sure.
enjoyable movie. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But that's it for me, man.
I guess we can go into our ratings, and then afterwards we will go into like heavy spoilers if you like. So I'll go first. My rating for this movie out of 5, I give it a 3 out of 5. You would think maybe a little bit higher, but again, it was a lot of cameos, and
I
again,
needed plot.
it wasn't. No, not even
comic
that.
book movie.
I just thought it wasn't as funny as people make it seem to be, because I got over the jokes like pretty quickly. And that's just my own
You know
personal
what's
taste,
weird,
you know?
man? I kind of feel like
Just
I wasn't getting I wasn't connecting with the jokes as much as I thought either.
I
It's
mostly
kinda
just
strange. I was
wanted to
thinking
write
about
them
that.
down when I heard them. I was like, oh, time to take notes. What am I?
Yeah.
I didn't really
Now there were some jokes that hit pretty
like
well,
laugh as hard. No.
but that's one reason why I say, like, I thought the cursing was overdone a little bit, because it just kind of killed a lot of the jokes for me, because I felt like Ryan Reynolds like hammed it up even more in this movie. And so like the joke ran out whenever he's like saying all this shit just for shock value.
He went full Deadpool in this one.
And it kind of ruined it a little bit for me. But like whenever the certain jokes hit with other people in the film, be it the cameos and shit, that's when I thought that was funny. But Ryan Reynolds just being a really Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, like that kind of wore out for me a little bit more, and I was kind of looking for more of his interactions with other people.
I'm not sure who's more Deadpool. Yeah, the character or Ryan Reynolds. I think about it with
I don't know,
the way.
man.
Well, if you think about it, I mean,
he's hamming
Ryan Reynolds is, if that's the case, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds in every fucking movie that he's come out in.
I'm fine with that then.
You know, I mean that's fine. He hasn't strayed too far from like who he is in every other film.
I can enjoy that.
He's going full Daniel Day-Lewis with Deadpool, man. He's becoming Deadpool.
Bryce, what about your rating for this movie?
Damn, I'm gonna go a little bit higher, man. I'm gonna do at least the 3.5 out of 5 for me. I feel like this is one of those, you know, we do the trauma scales versus like, I kind of feel like almost like I want to say versus like what's been coming out from like Disney, Marvel, or Marvel in general lately, like that gives it a higher bump for me. Like,
well, shit,
definitely above.
If
like,
we're gonna say that, then yes, like absolutely. I mean, this.
But
any other?
I don't know. I guess
any other film that I've seen, like
5. I'm gonna do a little bit more.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. I had fun with it, but just for me personally, like the story, I can admit that the story is weak, and I'm not expecting anything more from this a Marvel movie. But I expected more laughs and jokes from me personally. But again, I thought the jokes
more
just wore out.
Symbolism and metaphor and
depth.
You need more sepia.
Yeah, because like the last scene, the end credit scene is probably my favorite. And mind you, one other part where we'll get into a cameo between Deadpool and this other person, and it's just like a word that is exchanged, and I thought that was way funnier than most of the shit that was coming out of Ryan Reynolds' mouth. But anyways, Roland, your rating?
So this is pretty much exactly what I was expecting for the most part, seeing this. But because I really enjoy some of the, not even just like the best Marvel rated R movies, but like these are the Deadpool series. I thought it was probably one of the better series, just for that alone, that they're all fucking rated R. Like, please, yes, thank you. So I wanted to give this like an extra rated R half a point. So I was originally gonna give it a 3. I'll probably fall into like 3.5, not a 4. No.
I don't think it deserves. I don't think it deserves higher than a 4.
You know what?
Personally, like,
you know what?
Do you think this is the age of the PG-13 Deadpool now, since they're owned by Disney?
They can't do that. They can't
no.
do with as much money as this made, no fucking way, dude. Like, they're gonna give Ryan Reynolds say carte blanche for every fucking movie that he does. You know,
until he's 90.
Until he's 90.
Until they're 90. So I mean, have you seen Deadpool's other animated appearances, Bryce? Or I doubt Ray has. That's why
I haven't. No.
I saw.
He's in Wolverine versus the Hulk.
I saw. Yeah. I saw that one.
I think he's been in like a
He's like
few
super
others.
skinny in that one. Like they have like really
Yeah,
skinny.
he's drawn like super like slim style.
Yeah.
I think that's just the artist's. He's been drawn like that before.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly like Deadpool's just like thick as thick in pretty much everything. He's more or less the same in that too. Like I don't know. I think I don't know that there's a PG-13 or even a PG version of Deadpool.
Yeah.
If there is, I just haven't paid attention for shit. But as far as like that being possible, I mean, I'm not sure.
I'm just speculating because of him being owned by Disney now. So I'm like, are they going to try to do a crossover event with like him in an Avengers movie? And they can't. Oh, okay, you're gonna have to really.
He's gonna have to like tone it all down right before he enters the scene. Okay, guys, this is gonna be really quick, you know. And he's like breaking the fourth wall, telling everyone he gets the only fuck that they're allowed to say in that movie.
Yeah.
And then like it turns out that he wasted it or whatever, and he just gets like pulled off screen or something by one of those canes or some shit. Like,
you sure you're not a writer? You sure you're not a writer for Marvel, man?
Pay me.
That's pretty good.
I guess we'll start getting into spoilers now. So if you're still watching up until this point, you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, and
go away.
You don't want to know about any of this, then you can leave now, and we'll give you a few more seconds to leave.
Those of you that haven't fucked off.
Cameos. That's what this movie mainly is for.
They threw a shitload in there at you.
Yeah.
Who like right now? Who are your favorites? Bryce, go.
Well,
go.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes for me, dude.
Yeah.
See his old ass come out, dude.
Yeah, I honestly thought like I thought he was like he looked kind of small and short compared to everyone else. I thought he was taller. I was like, why does he look less imposing?
I don't know, man.
Well, now in real life, I saw him.
His head got wider too. It's like weird, like his hair, like got more like guileless.
That's definitely guileless.
Weird. I don't know. Explain it. It's just...
Oh, I mean, I just assumed that like he shaved his head and they put like a thing.
Oh, you think so? Maybe.
I saw him in an interview and he does look a lot skinnier. So I mean, you can tell like he hasn't been like keeping up with that bulkiness that he normally would.
Yeah, and I mean it probably wasn't important anyways because he's not a main character. If anything, like when I saw him like sort of shrimp out and like with Elektra and Channing fucking Tatum, I kind of laughed because I was like, oh, this like it's like it's kind of like watching Kevin Hart like come into an action scene. Like, this is not good, but I really love this. Who you call it, or what did he say? Like,
there he goes. He goes. I thought you, but it's the way he said retired, which I thought was pretty funny. He was like, "Thought you retard," like some kind of. And he goes, that was the funniest part of. I mean, to me, like
apparently some people got real butthurt by seeing that slur. Oh my god, the horror!
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, technically we're not supposed to be using that in today's societal constructs, but I mean,
like it's also it doesn't mean the way it's used anymore. So get fucked. Like that's just the way those are. And if you don't like that, I can understand, and that's cool. But I can't think of any others off the top of my head because I don't give a shit really. But you know.
I thought Gambit was great.
For the parts of it you could understand, he was really like leaning into that accent. It was really funny how they were shitting on him.
But he had some good lines.
But he was super positive about everything. He's like, I guess I was kind of born here. I don't really remember what my life was like before. And like, we'll be. If I die, you know what? It's cool. They'll remember me.
What was that thing he said? Like that he shot out of his dad's dick ready and shit like that.
Yeah,
I want to shot out of my dad's balls ready.
Yeah, ready to like was it ready to like invade my mom's womb or was it like her?
I know his buttery cream or some shit like that. Or something. I don't know. Goddamn, it's fucking.
It was so stupid and I loved it. Like that shit was that's where I was like.
Honestly, the fucking line that he said that made me laugh wasn't even like a joke. It was like when they finally roll up on the compound, he comes up, he just says some light line, but it's just like.
Is it when he goes like,
that fucking voice?
That's when he said he's like, "Oh, I'm ready to make a name for myself."
Yeah. It was just like, oh my god, and the fucking way he said it was hilarious.
I liked how he fought too.
Yeah.
Though that was actually very cool.
That was cool to see. Yeah.
I don't know why X-23 needed to be there, but she was cool. Like probably the coolest one there because she could probably just kill everyone. Granted, I would probably still pick Blade above them all, just not like Wesley Snipes Blade. I mean, like actual comic book Blade, because this one kind of, eh.
Oh, Roland, I was asking
He's still cool though.
Ray about this, but because I don't remember in the third Blade movie, did his sword get broken by Dracula? Because I was wondering why he wasn't using a sword. He had like a kukri, and I was like, why isn't he fighting with his like blade sword? But I don't remember if it get broken or something. And I was telling Ray, like, I wonder if that's some kind of like licensing issue with it, like they can't use the sword in the movie. But I think it gets broken in the third one. I don't really remember.
I know it gets broken in the second one.
Oh, second
for
one.
sure. I don't remember if in the third he has another one already. He probably does.
He brought out the
he brought out
like, the boomerang.
Yeah, that was cool because like he did the whole like just like in the first Blade when he brings it out, it's like oh sweet.
Yeah.
And then he had like a machete or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like
it was a weird knife. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was.
And he didn't have like the stake gun or anything.
Like that thing. He was like,
yeah, there it is. I thought you had one of those.
Yeah, but I thought it was weird. It's like, why isn't he fighting with the
Mall
sword?
ninja shit.
That's right.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I thought
that was kind of weird.
Elektra was kind of underwhelming, you know. Like she was just there for fun. Like I think to throw in that
she was
one
there
joke
for fun and to talk about how Daredevil got killed.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think she was there for that one line.
I mean, I think it was sort of leaning on the joke for the most part, right? They're the forgotten characters.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought that like the X-23 chick though was kind of like, I don't know if you needed to like necessarily include her for that. She's just a cool.
Well, I think it was just her to connect with Wolverine again, because I mean their chemistry from Logan, you know.
She's the
I like how they had I like how they had Toad in there. I was like the Ray Parks Toad. I was like, oh my god.
Was that Ray Parks?
Yeah, Ray Parks played Toad.
Was it him?
No, I know, but I mean,
well, I don't know in there, but I just know Ray Parks played.
No, Toad. Yeah, and he was cool as fuck in that one.
But it's so funny. It's like
they brought back the Pyro
people
kid.
Yeah, Pyro.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool, that fight between him and the Human Torch, because that would make sense because he can control fire, so it's kind of an interesting matchup in a way.
Yeah, the thing too that I'm not sure about is how they pull it in the comics, because like I think they fought before, and I don't remember what exactly happened. I don't think he was able to put out the Human Torch completely or something, because the dude has like cosmic fire. I don't know. Or it could have just been like bullshit comic book plot stuff is like usual. They're like, oh no, there's no oxygen, so there's no fire to burn, or I don't know what, some shit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Like most of the same stuff actually happens. I think he just tries to like flame the character, and Pyro's just like, no, stop doing that shit. And, I was expecting that cameo. When he like tried to look out like he was Captain America and stuff, I was like, there's no fucking way they're gonna let him put him into this. Like, he's here as the fucking Human Torch, and then he does it where it's like, oh, it was so funny.
I thought it was funny whenever like Deadpool goes to like hug him and shit.
Yeah,
like he's like swinging him from the back and stuff. Yeah.
And then he just like pushes his hand down, and then he's like, he's gonna say the words. Avengers assemble, flame on.
Yeah.
Like, and then man, when he loses his power, he just eats a dick hard.
Yeah.
He fucking when he falls, like, oh. I was glad to see like the more rubbery CG for that.
Yeah.
Because they were able to obviously have fun with it. I mean, he should have been dead, actually.
Yeah,
to be honest. Hitting the ground, like he just fucking like snapped probably like his spine in several places, and at least his neck. Like, how the fuck is
he? I was surprised to see when he was in the fucking cage. I was like, why is he still alive? Like, he literally broke his neck.
He was still alive for like two scenes, two important scenes. The scene where he dies, and then the end cap or whatever.
Yeah, that end credit scene from what I've read in an article, that Ryan Reynolds had suggested like cue cards for him,
Yeah,
but he said like that he memorized the whole thing. He's like, this is like one of the only times that he's going to be able to, first of all, speak like this in this
yeah. He's like,
character. So he
I'm
like
gonna
memorized
memorize that
everything,
shit.
and like that's why I feel like it came off so like natural.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And it was
his
hilarious.
accent, everything was really funny.
Yeah.
It's fucking so funny too. I was like, my when I went to go check it out with my brother. We were waiting, like, you know, like, oh, they're probably, let's see if they're gonna play something at the end. And I'm like, I hope it's just like a big fucking dumb joke. Like, I don't want this to be like until next time or some other stupid shit. And that was exactly what I wanted. It was fucking great. What other cameos were there? I mean, they had all the original characters from the previous Deadpool movies. Colossus was in there, you know, and the other
that
few,
Juggernaut.
Yeah, Juggernaut. Yeah.
right, yeah, and he gets fucked up pretty hardcore, I thought, in the end there. That's why I was thinking it was like a little more practical when X-23 fucking like basically chops his feet off.
Who's the guy in the red and white striped shirt?
Oh,
That's supposed to be the guy from Punisher. Remember the guy who fights in the
yeah.
Punisher with that same fucking shirt? I was trying to figure out like who's that supposed to be, or if it's
so.
even anybody. But
It's
like,
it is a character in the comics. I forgot the guy's name. I think they just call him the Russian or something.
yeah, isn't it that guy from the fucking Punisher where he fights
That's
that
what
one
I
guy, gets
thought.
his ass
In
kicked?
like in the comic though, I think like he becomes part, like he becomes like a cyborg or some shit even. So I think so. That's what I like. That's the only connection I have to think about for that one.
That shirt is like
shirt.
pretty, like, yeah. I was like,
And like he had no lines or anything. He was just like there. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah.
it's got to be. Yeah. I thought it was cool to see what's the guy's name? The demon Nightcrawler's father, Azrael.
Azrael, yeah.
Well, he's not he was his supposed father. Like that got changed later. But they have the same powers. He's like he's like evil Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I don't remember, like I lost track of him in the fight. Like what actually
I don't remember either. Who he gets killed by.
He doesn't really do anything much that I could tell. He just kind of zips around people, or did. But it was still cool to see him. And it was also cool to see Lady Deathstrike. I wish they had used her maybe a little more in there.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. I thought they were gonna get more of a close up. I don't know if it was like Kelly Hu. Like,
I think it was. I thought it was her.
But it sucks though, because if that's the case, I mean, they brought her out for like a background.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and the same with
like,
Sabretooth. Sabretooth had like two scenes, you know.
Hey, but he
should have been the Sabretooth from the fucking original X-Men or original Wolverine movie. Should have got that.
What's his face? Leave
Schreiber.
Yeah, Leave Schreiber. They should have just got the Leave Schreiber Sabretooth. That would have been funny. Well, actually, that brings up something I wanted to ask.
They should have brought out that Deadpool variant from that movie as well.
No, that was killed in the retcon.
Well,
I was like, what cameos would you have liked to have seen?
Probably Spider-Man.
I probably would have liked to have seen
like Andrew
Halle Berry Storm come out.
That's what I was like. It would have been kind of cool to see some of the X-Men come out, but
they James Marston. Is that his last name? I always forget. James Marsters.
Patrick
the one
Stewart.
that played Cyclops.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Huh?
Patrick Stewart, maybe.
The one that played Cyclops, you dweed.
No,
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that's his name, Roland. He's
no. I'm talking about Professor X.
Yeah, but well, they sort of reference him when Cassandra Nova's in the wheelchair, and Deadpool makes the ableist joke.
Should have brought out the rogue from that one. What was her name? Played by
Anna Paquin.
Yeah,
Paquin.
And the fucking Iceman. Should have brought the Iceman out too.
Speaking of cameos, I had just forgotten. I had almost named my title here. It was gonna be something like I don't see TJ Miller around. Or like anti TJ Miller stand or something. Like I really wanted to lean into it. I was like, no, it's like maybe a little mean.
They brought him out in the movie.
I've seen his like interviews saying like, oh, like that he's basically blaming everyone else for the fact that he's just not in any of these movies.
I don't hate him as a guy, as a
career
person,
sucks,
but
you know.
it seems kind of shitty, and that's because I thought he was great. Like he's a hilarious actor, but It just seems like, man, you just fucked yourself out of a lot of
he
money,
screwed
and
his
like
career.
you could have
Like,
been
I
really
mean,
good with this.
but anywho, let me see what else.
I was close, but I didn't.
I don't know. Like, I think like the cameos.
The Blob.
The Blob.
Like I had that Blob guy in there.
I honestly don't know any other like characters off the top of my head. I mean, I don't
it
read
would
the
have been
comic
cool to
books,
see.
so I really don't know.
I mean, if you were gonna say Patrick Stewart, then right, Ian McKellen would have been right.
Yeah,
Cool as
Magneto. Yeah, he was asking for
That's true,
Magneto,
yeah.
wasn't he?
Huh?
Wasn't Ryan Reynolds like?
Oh.
Didn't they mention Magneto at some point?
I heard him, but they
his
never.
helmet, yeah, and how like he gets killed by Cassandra.
Yeah.
But they didn't mention if it was the Michael Fassbender or the
Sir Ian McKellen.
yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
They couldn't bring out the Kelsey Grammer
Beast.
that's
Yeah, the
again, no.
Beast. Yeah.
That would have been kind of cool.
That would have been very cool. Yeah. I enjoyed I thought he was perfectly cast for that.
Definitely, if he would have come out, I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds hopefully would have made like a Frasier joke or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like, yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious. Just time into Frasier and shit.
Now that I think about I'm remembering, was there supposed to be I feel like I was reading an interview that Ryan Reynolds had did either before the movie or during it or some shit, but like I feel like, and I'm probably wrong because brain's not working very well, great right now, that he was making a reference to John Candy in that movie.
Yeah, the cup that said "I love me," and there's a scene where like they're reading a book.
Yes,
There's a reference from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Fucking thank you, Ray. That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah, I was like, oh, there was something really nifty about
pay
it because
respects
like he's
to the Canada man.
He's fucking apparently he's Ryan Reynolds is a very, very big, as he should be, as all of us should be, John Candy fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. But even more so because he's from Canada. Like it's it's an icon.
Canada's got a lot of cool fucking people somehow. Surprised as I am, I know. It's ridiculous.
Aside from the cameos, I did like how they went through the different iterations of Wolverine. Like how they made him real tiny. Because like that's how he is in the comic books.
The comic's accurate.
Like that.
Oh, dude, I love seeing that. That was so funny. Calverine was fun. I was wondering how they were gonna put that shit in there, and they just sort of chunked him in like a badass. Just
Which one's that one, Roland?
That's the one where he walks up to him and he's like in a garage and he's like smoking a cigar standing next to a motorcycle, and he just turns around and Superman Henry punches him with the fucking claws and like knocks him through a fucking like a concrete column.
People were saying that he did the Mission Impossible arm loading.
Oh yeah. I don't remember if he did that.
He did do it in the movie.
He did?
He did. Yeah.
I liked that. That's the only part of that movie I've seen. Just the fucking.
You heard of the controversy going on with the fact that they had the crucified fucking.
Oh yeah,
Wolverine.
I didn't know.
What's the controversy about
shit was supposed to be?
That it's like anti.
That's from Uncanny X-Men 251.
Anti-Christian.
That's from fucking.
I know.
God.
It's from the comic book.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
it's from the comic book.
I know.
It's a comic book cover.
But Bryce, if you turn the X like just a little bit this way, it's a cross.
You know? He was crucified.
He was crucified.
What? Crucified.
Well, if they were gonna have an issue with that, dude, they should have. That should have been from the fucking Old Man Logan, where X-23 is gonna do the cross and she turns it into a fucking X. That would have been something really. Ooh, they would have got upset about that.
They probably did. They probably did.
What is that? Jesus would never.
And also the fact that Ryan Reynolds was using the phrase Marvel Jesus, or he's a Messiah. That allegedly, again, I don't know how true any of these uproarious feelings are from certain people, but like they make for good TikToks and stuff, you know. People always get Christians persecuted by like mocking victims. Jesus Christ in some way. And Ryan Reynolds did the ultimate sin by calling himself the Messiah or Jesus,
the great one, the chosen one, the prophet.
Yeah, people apparently like walked out because of like.
Did anybody have any problems?
Did they?
With
Apparently,
Dune then? Because
say it again, Bryce.
Dune. Do you have any problems with Dune? Kwisatz Haderach?
I don't think they went to go watch Dune, or if they got the gist of how it parallels in some way. That's a little too complicated, right? You got to be blunt with it. Yeah. By saying the word Messiah and Jesus, you can't just be like have the characters seem parallel, and you have to remember in the moment that Jesus kind of has like a same kind of storyline.
Well, okay, I look at it like this, man. Avengers Endgame is the 10 Commandments, and so this movie is the greatest story ever told in the Marvel timeline. Well, I mean, we're doing parallels between biblical movies. I don't know.
Which one's like Ben-Hur or David or Joseph or something like that? Or the Noah story with have you all ever seen Noah with Russell Crowe?
No, man.
You should all watch that. You should definitely watch it. I saw that in the theater. You should check it out.
It's been recommended to me, but Ray, do you know the only Jeebus movie I and anyone can safely enjoy is The Passion of the Christ? That's right.
Hey, I heard they're making a sequel. Is that true?
The Passion of the Christ.
Shut the fuck up! They're not making a sequel.
More passion.
I heard no, man. I heard something about this. Look that up, man. They might be
Revenge of the Passion of the Christ.
The Christ Strikes Back.
Thank you. The Rise of the Christ.
You go Passion's Revenge or some shit like that.
The Last Christ Walker.
You know, contrary to popular belief, I do like watching like religious themed movies whenever they're like biblical. You know, like Noah or David or 10 Commandments and stuff. I like watching those movies. I don't like watching those modern ones that are like God's Not Dead 1 and 2. Although the Left Behind,
you don't like the movie where the guy's explaining the story of Christmas and why it's okay to be commercialized, have commercial Christmas.
Any Kirk Cameron vehicle. I'm not a fan of.
Like that?
Yeah, it's Evan Almighty or nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah.
Or anything Kevin Sorbo or Stephen Baldwin.
I was just watching part of a review on some I stopped like a few minutes in when I realized it was like a political movie, one of those like released by like the Epoch Times or I forget whatever, but like it's Kevin Sorbo was in there, and I think so was Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It just came out recently, right?
Yeah, and I saw that, and I was planning on watching it, but then I was like, I got some context, and I was like, nope.
They're like angels, right?
Roland.
Yes.
Roland, hold on, Roland. I got to go back to
saw that cover
the parodies
today
of the Star Wars.
All right, what do you got?
I'm sorry. It'd be Rise of Water Walker. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Rise of the Water Walker.
That was bad.
I stand corrected. That's fine.
I have not seen any Kevin Sorbo movies. Is he making?
Oh, he's still somehow.
I mean, unless you want to laugh, you know.
I think he's gonna become like the next, because like Steven Seagal's retired. So I think like Kevin
Wait a minute. Wait, take a step back from what you just said right now.
Okay, so like he's retired from like sort of acting, I think, because I don't think he had any other movies coming out, unless I'm wrong. Are you sure? Because I feel like he didn't.
You think Kevin Sorbo is going to be the new Steven Seagal? Is that what you said?
Yeah, kind of.
That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
People are going to be like watching this shit to hate on it because it's going to be so fucking stupid.
Is it going to be Jesus-based violent films?
Probably. I mean, like he's had a few of those already, right? Like this
action Christian movies, Christian action movies.
Well, maybe not action, but like I just meant in it like this is a shithole. This is a real big asshole. And now he doesn't do action, but he does like action-esque. I mean, he did the fucking Hercules. Right?
That's different. And I was gonna say that's funny, man, because I feel like if anybody has any kind of debate against like Kevin Sorbo, I feel like we can be like, well, Mr. Sorbo, isn't it true that you engaged in pagan idolatry by playing a demigod of sorts?
It's gonna be like, it's called a job. I'm an actor, dumbass. He's gonna say something. The guy doesn't have a good sense of humor. Most of them don't.
No,
so
I mean, just look at fucking Chachi, man. What's his name? What's fucking Chachi's name?
Shit.
Oh, is he like real? He's real conservative too now, or
like dude? He's always been, dude. Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez, I forgot it. You know what? It's good that I don't remember his name. He doesn't deserve it. But yeah, like even like Dean,
Scott
like even
Baio.
Scott
There you
Baio.
go, Scott Baio. Yeah,
Like
yeah. Okay.
Baio.
all you need is like
That asshole.
the Kevin Sorbo, Dean Cain, and fucking Scott Baio, like superhero movie or something.
And it could be like the soundtrack by Kid Rock. And
soundtrack by Kid
shit.
Rock and like fucking
and
the Newsboys.
Don't forget the guy who made Sound of Freedom. What was that guy's name?
Oh, Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, you gotta go with Jim Caviezel.
No, Jim Caviezel could be the villain in this superhero movie, you know?
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where basically he's just playing like an atheist.
I was thinking
you know?
of the was it
the super villain is just someone who's an atheist, and it's it's just
the disbeliever.
You know why I find that really, really funny is because that's probably how it would go.
You can't catch me. I'm the denier.
Your prayers ricochet off my chest. You know?
I use the power of logic
and science.
God damn.
You go, no, you're no match for the armor of God. Take out the sword of God's strength or some shit. I don't know, dude. Like, you know, those like I'll say this like I'll tell you this little confession here. Like I used to have like a poster in the back of my wall, and it was of a soldier, and it had like all the bits and pieces of the armor of God, the sword, the armor, the breastplate, the helmet. And it compared it to like portions of like what I know it's making you really uncomfortable, Roland, but this is the truth, you know.
Should have stayed a secret.
No, man, I'm open with the audience, you know. A lady can know everything.
You're
about
open
me.
with.
Did you ever
GOB.
have? Did you ever do Axe, or is that a Catholic thing? The
like Axe body spray?
No, Axe. It's like a camp or something, a religious camp.
No, I did go to religious camp.
That may be only Catholic.
I did go to religious camp.
Sure.
It was called.
Did you have a Jesus fish on your?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Toyota Corolla, I'm assuming.
I didn't. It was Chevy Monte Carlo, and yes, I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was on his fucking Monte Carlo.
Oh wow!
I did have a Jesus fish. Yeah.
Nice.
You want to know something messed up, Bryce? Like I didn't like I did that I did this, but I did it because at the time, like I was playing in church. I actually had a Jesus fish on my Washburn guitar.
Vomit.
Eat up your vomit.
Sticker, Ray.
No, it was the metal
No,
emblem.
he
it wasn't a sticker. It was the car emblem that they put in the back of cars. It was the metal thing. It wasn't like the sticker.
Ray, if you're really, into the word, you would have had that custom made inlays, dude. Jesus fish inlays.
That would have been badass. So like,
like PRS has like the bird with like the different, like,
but this would be like the Jesus fish.
Swimming,
yeah. And we can attribute it to that, like the fact that I'm a Pisces. So like it kind of
that's why
you relate to it.
Fine with it.
Yeah, and then on I'd have like the symbol for fucking Striper on the very tail end of my guitar, and then in the back of it says "To hell with the devil." You know, that would have been cool. That would have been kind of cool.
Ray.
Right? You think that's pretty cool, don't you, Roland?
Except for that last bit, but
to hell with the devil. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Come on. Anyways, enough of ranting about
yeah, we went way off on a tangent.
Well, possible enough about possible Christian films starring these
assholes.
I mean, anything else you want to say about Deadpool and Wolverine? I know we're going back to this.
This is what happens when you watch a fun, cool movie. We stop talking about the movie and start talking about other random dumb shit.
Well, it kind of segued from like the controversy going on with some like parts of this movie, and then we kind of us being us.
I didn't
we kind
realize
of like
that was even a controversy. Where did you hear about that?
It's the internet, dude. It's not. It could be not. It's not really a controversy. It's on the internet. There's not. I haven't heard one single person in my real life or in my vicinity say anything about the fact that
you're
this
gonna
is
get some more comments on your TikToks with this one, man.
I saw when I saw that scene, with Wolverine's like splayed out on the X there. I knew that was from a comic book somewhere.
Right,
I was like, I can't remember which scene it is, and it's like
I think it's even
But it
on the
looks, and I was thinking
cover.
like, oh, it looks a little Jesus-y. Like, oh, it looks a little Jesus-y. Damn it! Like people are gonna bitch about it. I'm sure.
I like that they brought out Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that was pretty awesome. And he had no words at all. He just started
Mhm.
whipping the shit out of him, which
Yeah.
was, what was he saying? He's like, wow, you seem kind of aggressive or something like that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
When he like punches him with the stump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like he actually fucked him up with that damn thing
Yeah.
as it is. He still has the claws under there too.
Oh, I didn't
He,
know
he
that.
he just never uses them.
Oh.
Almost never. He uses them like, I don't know, like once or twice, or maybe if not once, in the Old Age Apocalypse series. He was recently brought into a new comic though, with like some other alternate universe Wolverines, and one of them
Mm.
is like the first introduction of female Wolverine. Actual like, no, this is Wolverine in this universe, not like this is a clone of Wolverine, or this is his sister or some shit. Like, no, it's a chick and she's got the claws and
And that
she
was
acts and talks just like Wolverine.
I
Well,
liked how in all the Age of Apocalypse, well, not all of them, but like they always had something missing. Like Cyclops only had one eye. He literally was a Cyclops in Age of Apocalypse. He just
yeah,
had like the eye
yeah,
patch like thing like that.
that was Wolverine's fault. He poked out his eye.
Yeah. Well, didn't he lose his hand because Cyclops blasted it off, right, or some shit like that?
Yeah,
Or
he poked out his eye and got his hand melted off
oh, okay.
or sliced off or whatever it is. But yeah, which is also funny because I think in the end Cyclops ended up being a good guy anyways or something. Like I think he was a double agent. I forget like all of the story.
Hmm.
That I don't think I'll never forget that nightmare fuel fucking comic book accurate height Wolverine. And like how
Yeah, that was
Deadpool was just like, "Oh, how you're so adorable, you short king," like
Yeah.
he's just like,
dude, I'll never forget. There was a issue of I don't know if it was Uncanny X-Men or X4. I don't know. It was one where it's like Juggernaut comes into a bar and Wolverine's like, he's like all badass. He's like standing up to him, but he has to get up on the bar, like reach his face. Like, it was so funny. He's
yeah,
like standing on the bar. It was like I don't know. Well, Juggernaut's like
yeah,
tall anyways, but it's just hilarious. Like I don't know.
yeah, because Wolverine's actually a really short character,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't matter because he's fucking built like a brick house, and then the claws and all that crap.
One
What
last
other?
one last thing I wanted to talk about, and that's the soundtrack, and that is like kind of like the two moments that I remember vividly is the beginning and the end of this movie. So the beginning,
Mhm.
Deadpool digs up the dead Logan, and
Yep.
the intro or the opening credit scene is scored by NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. What'd y'all think about that?
That was
That was
pretty
funny,
funny.
man.
That was
I like that.
really, really funny.
That a whole routine, the whole routine
Yeah.
from the video.
Yeah, he did.
Mhm.
He spanked himself a lot, I think, up until that point.
Yeah.
Putting on the suit. A couple the tailor or whatever who's suiting him up like
Mhm.
roped the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
He tells him, "Oh yeah, your tailor's a predator, by the way."
Now, do you think is that Ryan Reynolds actually making light of the fact that there are like lots of predators and probably in the I guess either the Disney camps and stuff like that? Because I don't know, like I attributed the fact that he said that kind of like saying like, oh,
Maybe.
he's a predator, but like also saying like, oh, there's actual predators
Yeah.
working in around this place, But I don't know. Maybe I'm
Mm.
reading too much into that one.
You might be reading a little too much, but like that is still funny if it
Uh,
were true.
the last thing was the end fight scene, and they had Madonna's. Was it like a prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what when I read also about this particular scenario is that they really wanted to use a song. Madonna doesn't really allow her songs to be used in films, and that the director and Ryan Reynolds had to go and speak to Madonna in person.
Yeah, I heard
And
about
not
that.
only that is that she had an idea on how to make the end scene better, and that they used it, and then it turned out great. I don't know what exactly advice she gave, but yeah. So I guess that was like a stipulation in which they were
That's
allowed
pretty
to use
cool.
that movie or that song. Sorry.
Mm.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's gonna be a shitload of interesting little like details and trivia about this fucking movie to like find, because just like whenever you see stuff like this, I always think about like how much of a pain in the ass could it have been for them to like go and ask for permission for all of these different cameos and like these different references, and then okay, let's bring them all together and schedule it, and then like then they have to like make the characters themselves, you know, because they all had pretty cool, like fairly accurate suits going on, like comic book suits and shit, and all that stuff just looks so, I don't know, like it looked like this they spent a lot of time on some pretty good set work, I think, for these places.
No,
with the exception of at the end of the movie in that fucking like little subway, because it looks like they just go one fucking flight of stairs and boom, there's the TVA's goddamn like computer consoles and shit, and they just had a vault for this fucking like time ripper bullshit machine right there.
Roland,
that was
I have a question for you, since you're, I guess, more familiar with the comics. The TVA, is that an actual comic thing, or is that just primarily the Loki TV show?
I think it being popularized, obviously, yes, from the Loki show, but it is a comic book organization.
Okay.
I don't know too much about them. I just know that they're around, and they're
because my first introduction to the TVA was in the first season of Loki. I haven't seen the second season, but I saw the first season.
I still haven't finished the second season. It's probably so far as good as the first, if not maybe slightly better. Slightly.
They don't have Kang in this one, do
they? Yeah, he's in that one.
Oh, he is?
What's his face?
Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Yeah, no, this was his last Marvel cameo, unless Ant-Man came after.
I think Ant-Man came after that.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Well, that's it. That's all he's in. I think he was someone that had like slightly sort of ran into him on the street somewhere and asked him, I don't know if you guys read about it, what he thought about Doctor Doom being the next big bad for the Marvel Universe, and he was kind of like, "Oh, well, I'm glad it's him. That's really cool. I'd really be down to do more Kang." I'm like, "Yeah, good fucking luck with that, man." Kind of fucked yourself. It would be cool to see that too, but I don't know how the fuck you'd even get through any of that bullshit. But like, yeah. So again, going back to what I was talking about, I think that there's gonna be a lot of like cool little factoids about this movie.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to actually sit there and dissect. And I mean, I'm pretty sure the YouTube videos are coming. All the analysis, the ending explained,
all the shit we missed.
Yeah, anything having to do with like, I think I just recently saw the guy who does like the pitch meetings, where he like basically talked about like this movie and like how it was just cameo after cameo, and where the guy like asked questions about why they showed up, and he's just like, no, never mind, they're here, and he's like, oh, okay. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of like analysis type of films or YouTube videos regarding this movie. But
yeah,
I mean, I'll check them out. I don't really care too much about any sort of in-depth things when it comes to like a movie like this, because I felt like I got what I needed out of it.
Yeah.
And what more do I need to know?
Yeah.
So unless there's any other comment you want to make regarding Deadpool and Wolverine, we'll be signing off.
Yep. That's pretty much it. Done.
All right.
It's fun. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out in the theaters if you can. IMAX if you can, or 3D, or Roland's interactive experience, whatever that was. There's D-Box. That's also too.
Bass rumble. The ass ball connector experience.
Ass blaster experience.
Yeah, the ass blaster 5,000 seats. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, does it have like a speaker like in the seat? Is that what it is? Or?
No, well, like this one wasn't. That's why I was making the joke about them just having busted ass subwoofers, because they were just like.
I mean, if you all have never been in D-Box,
I have not been in D-Box.
Well, D-Box is basically just a vibrating chair.
Yeah,
you know, that's
moves
all.
Too, doesn't it?
It moves a little bit, but it doesn't move a lot, because I mean, I've seen two movies in D-Box, and it's only because that was the only seats that were available. It was Matrix Resurrections.
You saw that in D-Box?
Wait,
that's the movie you chose to see?
I had no other choice. That's all they had.
I didn't watch that movie with you, did I?
No, I saw that by myself.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I'm trying to remember.
Probably one of the worst of the year. I was so bored watching that movie. I was like, but like the only thing I had going for it was like a jolt of waking me up whenever going.
Whoa, we hit the on switch. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was awake to that movie, or else I would have fucking fallen asleep.
Yeah, that's
and the fact that I was like
that's
holding on to
the
my
whole point of
popcorn
it,
for dear
man.
life, you know, like
Oh
just like,
yeah, you got
you know?
that, got it in that death grip. No, the popcorn.
Yeah,
And that's because it's dry too. You psychopath. You don't put any butter in that stuff.
I don't.
Fucking weirdo.
I don't like the butter.
Oh my gosh, yes you do.
No, I like butter. I just don't like that butter.
There it is.
It's not on your popcorn. Interesting.
No.
Just
I
in
like
life.
I like real butter. If I had a thing of melted real butter, I'd pour it on the fucking popcorn. But I don't
There
like
you go.
whatever chemical yellow piss colored thing they have going on there that they put in your popcorn. I don't like it.
Well, melt some of your own. Just
Yeah, there you
By
go.
the time I get to the
try to keep
theater,
it
the
warm
fucking
and
thing's
then-
gonna. How am I gonna
You
keep
gotta
it warm?
take your own little
Do I have to put a Ziploc bag in between the crack of my ass or something and break it
Maybe.
out?
That'll keep
you're
it
gonna
real melted.
You're gonna
I'm
take a
gonna
little like
just open it, just.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
that
man.
shit.
they
Maybe.
should have like
Maybe
an
I will.
outlet there. You plug in like a little stove, you know, a little heating pad.
Yeah, Roland, shut the fuck
Just
up.
put it
Sizzle
in
up your own
a-
butter.
Shut the fuck
it-
up.
Just put it in a condom, and then when you get there, just put
And you could hide all of that in your ass crack. It'd be fine.
You know, Bryce, that is a very sensible thing to say. Not like this asshole is like bringing a fucking hot plate to the movies.
All of
Anyways,
these ideas, all of these theories will work. All right. You just be
anyways,
negative.
stupid ass ideas. All of the condom things seem more logical. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Be sure to check out any other videos that we have going on, any other reviews coming up, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Fucking hot plate.
Well,
Yeah. I don't know, Ray. Your butt cheeks are deep enough. You can hide whatever you need.
Well, that's why I think the condom is more logical.
Be daring, Ray.